Welcome to Please Me, the award-winning bilingual sexuality podcast bringing you bold conversations and big clit energy. I'm thrilled to announce that Please Me is the #1 ranked sexuality podcast in the USA and worldwide. I'm Eve, your host, on a journey from trauma to sexual liberation. Join me and my guests as we dive into conversations around orgasm equality, self-love, body positivity, and essential sex education. Let's reclaim pleasure and close the orgasm gap, one empowering conversation at a time. Last week on Please Me podcast, I spoke with Jennifer Fonseca about vaginal rejuvenation services, intimate wellness, and the treatments she offers through her practice, Liquivita. If you're considering vaginal rejuvenation or exploring options to support sexual health and confidence, that episode is a must listen. Today is episode 4 of season 7, and I'm excited to welcome Sam Itshaki back to the show for his second appearance. Sam opened season 6 with a conversation about penis pumps and penis extenders for people interested in enhancing size, performance, and sexual confidence. In today's episode, Sam returns to discuss additional sexual wellness products. Ladies, get ready. I just received my lady pump and I can't wait to try it. We also talk about an endurance trainer designed to support edging practice, stamina, and control. As always, this conversation is rooted in sex education, informed exploration, and curiosity, providing educational information so you can make empowered choices about your sexual wellness. This season, I'm returning to the original format with weekly podcast episodes, plus the continuation of the fan favorite roleplay segment at the end of every episode. Always fun, always spicy, and not to be missed. Early access drops every Monday on Patreon with public releases every Wednesday on all major podcast platforms. So, set your alarms. Want to ask a question for the Please Me podcast? Join the conversation on Patreon or subscribe to my Substack newsletter for exclusive content, behind-the-scenes updates, and opportunities to have your questions featured on the show. You can also join the Please Me Health Collective on SDC.com, the world's premier ethically non-monogamous platform for swingers, polyfolks, and more. Use code 37340 for a free trial membership and access to my growing community, including free monthly webinars. Please Me is for mature audiences, so sit back, relax, and surrender to the pleasure of Please Me.
It kind of wakes her up, right? Because all of this engorgement, blood flow just rushes in, and it feels like everything is walking up. And I think I wish every woman experienced it at least once. It makes you feel alive down there.
I have my lady pump coming in the mail, and I am so excited to try it. And I am so glad that you jumped into the similarities and anatomically between women and men, because absolutely women need to get a quote unquote hard on to be ready for penetrative sex.
Ladies, whether you are just starting your menopause journey or well into it and have questions about hormone replacement therapy, you're not alone. Many women experience vaginal dryness, decreased sensitivity, and urinary incontinence, like leaking when you sneeze, laugh, or exercise. These symptoms can be frustrating and limiting, but they are also very treatable. I experienced this myself and decided to try Parlor Game's topical estrogen and progesterone creams. Within 1 month of consistent use, my incontinence completely resolved. Topical estrogen helps restore tissue health, improve sensitivity, and support bladder control, while topical progesterone supports hormonal balance. If you are ready to stop suffering in silence, check the show notes for the link to Silky Peach, the topical estrogen cream, and Vibrant Third, the topical progesterone cream. I feel relieved and confident again, and I know you can too. I love wearing a bra. Said no one ever. If you're tired of discomfort and want a great bra alternative, I highly recommend Cakes. I gave up bras during COVID and searched everywhere for something better, and Cakes is the best solution I've found. They offer adhesive, non-adhesive, and push-up options that give a seamless look under your clothes without straps or discomfort. If you're tired of racing to your car to pull your bra off at the end of the day, it's time to get your Cakes. I haven't looked back, and I know you won't regret it. Check the show notes for the link.
Hey, it's Sterling K. Brown from the Hulu original series Paradise. The next chapter begins as Xavier's search for his wife takes him above ground, and what he finds will change everything. It was never just about the bunker. Tune in and discover the truth lies outside. Paradise, the official podcast, is now streaming, and stream Paradise on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.
Hello, and welcome to Please Me, the podcast that aims to destigmatize conversations about sex and sexual health by turning the sheets into our classroom. Today, I'm so excited to welcome back Sam Itshaki. He is the creator of Mr. Get Bigger Now and is the CEO of the legendary Dr. Joel Kaplan Company. This is his second time on Please Me, and the first time we discussed his specialty, penis pumps and penis extenders. And today we are going to talk about some products that the ladies can use to help them with their blood flow. So I am so excited to get this conversation started with you today. Welcome back, Sam. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you. And thank you so much for having me on again.
So before we jumped on here, you were talking to me about a new app that you just developed that helps, and we're going to go into the men's section first, right? That you just developed to help people to see the progress of using these products like the penis pump, right? And so can you tell me a little bit about that app and how it works, and tell me about the statistics that you found?
Sure. Yeah. So actually, I developed this app about 5 years ago.
Okay.
And the goal was to basically prove to men that enlargement is possible. There are some studies out there that show that enlargement is possible, but when it comes to enlargement and erectile dysfunction, I was not satisfied with those studies because usually the sample size is like 25 men, right? I mean, you couldn't find more than 25 men who want a bigger penis. Like it's
Right.
most men, right? And there's a lot of skepticism about whether or not it's possible to enlarge the penis. And so I just decided, you know what? I'm going to create an app to prove to people on an individual level and as a whole that enlargement is not just possible, but extremely probable when you use certain male enhancement tools regularly. And so I created about 5 years ago. I have a lot of data. I have over 10,000 users, over 60,000 exercise logs, meaning when someone uses a penis pump or an extender, they log the exercise. And I have about 10,000 measurements of erection performance. So that includes size, rigidity, sensitivity. Of course, the data is completely anonymized for the safety and privacy of the users, but it does help each user on an individual level to stay motivated, by seeing those results that happen gradually, right? Penis pumping and extenders. It's something you see the results long term, right? You see some results immediately, but you have to stick with it for a few weeks or a few months to see serious results. And so I created it because I wanted to keep people motivated, and I want to prove to people that things are improving even if you don't see it right away, right? And so by analyzing the data from those 10,000 users, from the 60,000 exercise logs, from the 10,000 erection performance metrics, I can clearly see that as a whole, it's working for most people. So over 90%, about 92% reported positive size changes, meaning an increase in size. Nothing works for everybody. That's okay. But over 92%. So that was one, amazing metric to see. The other one was that the average usage was approximately 6 months. Some user took it all the way to a year and beyond. There are some users who've been using it for years since I started the app, and they're still logging those those exercises and measurements. And of course, some users give up after a while. Nothing I can do about it besides build a whole app for them.
Right.
Yeah, so I do my best to motivate men to keep using it. But yeah, so the average is about 6 months. And another thing that is very obvious to see is a correlation between usage and and gains in size, in rigidity, and in sensitivity. So the average user gained 3/4 of an inch in length, and they saw about 12% increase in rigidity. And I'm talking about without using the pump, right? And so
So
as
this
men
was
get
just for the
older,
extender?
no, this was just for the pump, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, just for the pump. Um, and so, yeah, as men get older, we lose some of that rigidity. Erection quality in general drops as we age, right? In our 20s, you don't really need much stimulation to get an erection. Like sometimes you don't need any stimulation, you just a spontaneous erection for no reason whatsoever. But as we get older with every decade, it just seems like aging happens, atrophy happens, hormones change, nitric oxide production gets lowered, and so we get less blood flow and atrophy sets in. And so every decade, our erection quality just drops, and it happens to 100% of men at a different pace, of course, right? And so, yeah, eventually we became erections that are less rigid, right? And we actually lose size too. That's something that most men don't know. But
Yeah.
by the age of 60, you can lose up to 20% of the erection size. And if men knew this, they would be terrified. And the
And
good
pumping
news is,
every day, right?
yes, absolutely. Pumping every day. That's the thing. You can do something about. Just like, we all brush our teeth to prevent cavities. You can use a penis pump to reverse atrophy and prevent shrinkage, prevent loss in rigidity, and even reverse it, not just prevent. And the same thing applies to women, because there is a lot of correlation, a lot of similarities between men and women's genitalia. Yes, they look different. Okay, we all know that. But I think what a lot of people don't know is actually how similar things are. Women get erections too. It just looks
Yes,
completely different, right?
correct.
For men, all the erectile tissue is pretty much in one place. So we all know it's there, right? And it's very sensitive to blood flow issues. Even mild blood flow issue, decrease in blood flow, makes a huge difference in rigidity and size. For women, it's a little different. Everything is a little more spread apart. The blood vessels are just small. Everything is just smaller, right? And more spread apart. But other than that, when women get aroused, they do get engorged. The genitalia, the whole region, right? The vulva, the clitoris, the labia, it all gets engorged with blood, which leads to arousal, right? And so, in that sense, it's exactly the same, right? Other than the fact that it looks different, it's the same. And so, women can use pumps or vacuum erection devices just like men to bring blood flow to the vulva, the labia, and the clitoris. And by doing so regularly, they can see all of those amazing anti-aging benefit that you see with penis pumps, right? They can reverse atrophy. They can increase sensitivity. They can increase natural lubrication. That's something that a lot of women struggle with. If they only just tried a pump, right? It's just so simple. Yeah, so there are a lot of similarities, and there are a lot of benefits to gain by using a pump regularly. And the one thing I would want to add is that you do see some benefits immediately. When you put the lady pump on and you turn it on, it's not stimulating like a vibrator, but at the same times, it kind of wakes her up, right? Because all of this engorgement, blood flow just rushes in, and it feels like everything is walking up. And I think I wish every woman experienced it at least once. It
Well,
makes you feel alive down there.
I have my lady pump coming in the mail, and I am
Mhm.
so excited to try it. And I am so glad that you jumped into the similarities and anatomically between women and men, because absolutely women need to get a quote unquote hard on to be ready for penetrative sex. And the body is such an amazing thing. The vaginal cavity actually elongates and tense when the blood is flowing, and the blood actually is what lubricates the vaginal cavity and surrounding tissue, the vulva, etc., by allowing the plasma of the blood to flow through the walls of the vaginal canal and surrounding tissue and wet all of that down there. And so if you don't have enough blood flow, you're going to be dry. And so
Exactly.
increasing blood flow is going to help with wetness. It's going to help with engorgement. And it's essential as you're getting older to make sure that you are taking care of your lady bits down there, because over time,
Right.
it can atrophy. You just mentioned penile atrophy, and or penile shrinkage is another name for it. And for women, we get vaginal atrophy, and the vulva
And
can
shrinkage.
actually shrink
Mhm.
in size. They can
Right.
shrink in size
Yes.
if they're not being used. So nobody wants to shrink down there, right? And so it's
Yeah.
so important to maintain your sexual function, and in order to do so, you have to either use it all the time or do something like pumping if you're not having regular sex. And, not everybody is in a relationship. And even if you are in a relationship, having sex once a week or twice a month, or, sometimes as relationships move along and gain more responsibilities and, life gets busy, sex
Crushing
gets sort of put on
responsibilities.
the, yes, life can get sex can get put on the back burner, which I
Right.
try to talk about never letting that happen, but the reality is that sometimes it does. And our
Right.
relationships go in cycles, right, up and down. And so it's important to maintain that function. And so I love the idea of the lady pump. And I had not realized that you had this product. And when I was looking at my emails the other day, I was like, wait a minute, we haven't talked about this. We need to talk about this because it's so essential for women to also help their blood flow issues. And I talk about acoustic wave therapy. It's a treatment that I do in my practice.
Mhm.
But if you're not near me, and if you're not near, Palm Beach County, Florida, you're not going to be able to come and see me. But you can certainly get a lady pump and work on that on your own, and or a penis pump and penis extender. So we already talked about how age sort of changes our function, right? So 20% of men in their 20s already start to have some form of erectile dysfunction, and like you said, every decade it goes up 10%. So 30% in their 30s, 40% in their 40s, and by 50% of men have erectile dysfunction. And so, why not prevent? I think preventative medicine is so essential instead of having
Right.
to, go back and fix a severe issue after the fact. It's going to be much less successful than if you were doing prevention all along. Do you want to just jump in and talk about prevention a little bit?
Yeah, prevention is the key. Prevention is essentially it's a breeze compared to reversing any kind of condition at any degree, right? Even reversing erectile dysfunction, mild erectile dysfunction, is going to take longer than prevention, right? And it's just so easy to just pump once or twice a week for 10 minutes to prevent things. Just like, we all brush our teeth to prevent cavities. People should just pump. It's so much easier to prevent, and the success rate is extremely high compared to reversing a condition, right? So yeah, that's definitely the recommendation in general with medicine, right? When it comes to anything with your body, prevention is key.
Absolutely. And when I have men come to see me for erectile dysfunction, I give them homework. And one of the things that I give them is daily masturbation. Masturbation to completion helps to decrease the risk of prostate cancer when you do it
Yes.
22 times per month, right?
21. Yeah,
And
exactly.
or
Yes.
21 or 22 times per month. If you're
Mhm.
doing that often, it is going to decrease the risk of prostate cancer. So that's one of the homeworks that I give my clients. And the other homework that I give my clients is a penis pump. And the reason I do that is because I want them to do it on a daily basis. If they're having any form of erectile dysfunction, they need to do it on a daily basis. Now, if you are not having any issues, then using it maybe once or twice a week just to prevent is a great idea. But if you are having issues, and you will know if you're not having morning wood, if you're not
Right.
having spontaneous erections anymore, jump in and let me know if there's anything I'm missing. When you would know if you're having any kind of issues. When you're getting hard for penetration and you can't keep it hard enough throughout the whole
Right.
experience. That's another one. You can jump in.
Yeah, so there are quite a few symptoms or indications.
Right.
Yeah, it's whether or not you can get it up. It's how quickly it is for you to get an erection, because like I said earlier, in your 20s it happens with very little stimulation, including spontaneous erections, and it happens very quickly too, right? And so that's actually one of the benefits you get from pumping. Your blood vessels actually get bigger, so you get erections quicker. Some of the other indications are, not having morning wood. So morning wood is really the results of what's called nocturnal erections. Nocturnal erections are erections that happen at night. They're most likely biological, process that develop to maintain our erection. Because without it, and without sex, we would never use the penis, right? There would be so little blood flow. So the penis and the feet actually are the two body parts that get the least amount of blood flow. And of course, I'm referring to the penis being flaccid. And so, having sex once or twice a week, that 99% of the time your penis is flaccid and it's not getting any blood flow. So it seems that there was an evolutionary mechanism developed where men get nocturnal erections at night, usually during REM sleep. And depending on your age, when you're younger, you get more nocturnal erections. And as you get older, guess what? That's one of the things that get lower and lower with time. So someone in their 50s or 70s get way less nocturnal erections. Instead of 6, they would get 2 or 3 or close to nothing.
Right.
And those kind of erections are heavily correlated with two important things. One is erectile dysfunction. If you're not getting nocturnal erections, you have complete full-blown erectile dysfunction. You definitely cannot get it up. That's just how it works. The other thing is, that's more of a side note. When people get a heart attack, they usually don't have any nocturnal erections the weeks leading to the episode, right? To the heart attack. And so it's a leading indicator of your cardiovascular health in general. Just something to keep in mind. So erection health is really a great indicator because it's so sensitive to blood flow, right? Any small decrease in blood flow have such a major effect on the erection quality, rigidity, size. It's just a great indicator for overall cardiovascular health. So those are some of the indicators. There was one thing you mentioned, which is a great indicator. This one's a little different. Being able to get an erection and being able to maintain one it's part of the same process, but the most common cause of erectile dysfunction, and it's actually a type of erectile dysfunction, is venous leak. It's a condition where the smooth muscle that's responsible for locking the erection in place, it's that less part of the process in getting an erection. So basically, blood flow increases, reaches the penis, and if you notice, when it gets very rigid, the penis kind of changes angle and gets locked. That locking mechanism is done by muscles, like tiny muscles at the base of the penis. And as we age, we lose muscle mass. And so that's no different. We lose muscle everywhere. And when we lose muscle mass there, even a little bit, that locking mechanism decreases in effectiveness. And so we may be able to get an erection, but we get the blood there, but a lot of the blood is also flowing back, right? And so because those muscles are not tight enough, and that's called venous leak. It's the ability to get an erection but not maintain it. And the simplest thing you can do is get a cock ring, right, to constrict blood flow. But also increasing blood flow is a big way of treating it, because this is not, we're not talking about a complete seal where blood flow can go back at all, back to the body, right? It slows down blood flow back. So you basically want to have more blood flow in than out. And so that's one of the reasons why medications like Viagra or Cialis improve this, right? It doesn't change the muscle or that locking mechanism. It doesn't improve it at all, actually. But it does increase blood flow to the penis, right? And so you end up getting a more rigid erection. So pumps are a great way of accomplishing the same thing by addressing the root cause of the problem, right? So as we age, we lose some of that, blood, not just blood flow. We lose size of blood vessels. Our blood vessels literally shrink in size, and we lose some blood vessels. And by using a pump regularly, you're not only increasing the size of existing blood vessels, but new blood vessels will form. It's called neovascularization. It's a process by which new blood vessels are formed. And so you can literally, increase your blood carrying capacity to the penis in a permanent way, not on a temporary basis like a band-aid with pills. You just you're addressing the root cause by reversing what's happening to your body, right? Your blood vessels shrink and you lose some of them, so you pump regularly and they increase in size and you get new one. You're just reversing it. And so this is the reason why pumps are so effective in reversing mild forms of erectile dysfunction, right? I'm not talking about someone who can't get up at all. There are some cases where you can reverse that too, but the success rate in reversing mild erectile dysfunction is much higher because you're just increasing the blood flow to the penis, but you do it in a
Right.
permanent way. So it's
Mhm.
way more effective and more desirable outcome.
Yes. And I want to talk about, well, you talked about some other symptoms, and we didn't cover premature ejaculation, which is another symptom that comes hand in hand with erectile dysfunction. Obviously, we want men to be able to last as long as possible in order to really be able to enjoy the experience for a longer period of time. And let's face it, women take way longer to get to orgasm than men do. And so we want our
Right.
partners as women to
Mhm.
last a long time, right? And so you
Yes.
also have a product that works on penile endurance. And I think that this is fascinating. And I would love to know a little bit more about that. I often talk to my clients, my patients, about edging. And how
Yep.
you can masturbate, and then at the point of when you're about to ejaculate, you stop, you let the sensation dissipate, and then
Yes.
you continue masturbating, right? And so that's what edging is, and you can do that over and over again to help teach your body to extend or prolong that endurance. I would love to know how your machine works.
Okay. Yeah. I would love to talk about. So, it's actually one of the benefits that guys want. Basically, almost any guy on the planet wants to be bigger and last longer. And so that's what I cover basically in
And we
terms of
want that
product and
too,
education.
as women. We want
Yes,
our men to
a
have,
100%.
hard erections, and we want them to last longer for sure.
Yeah, I think it's probably more important for women than men, but it's important to know that, if you have a good relationship and you chose a good man, a good partner, they want to give you a great experience, and they see it as part of their responsibility, right? And so, yeah, as when it comes to lasting longer, um, edging is also called start and stop, right? It's the start and stop method. It's basically a way to train your nervous system and your brain, right? The nervous system and the brain are very malleable. They're very dynamic, and it's one of the things that change quite easily. You can get a new habit like down packed within 21 days, right, or so, um, right? Uh, so the myhixel control endurance trainer is a device that is clinically proven to help men last longer by up to seven times. Um,
Wow, that's
yeah,
huge.
and of
Okay.
course it depends on where they started. Um, So there have been studies with the device and the app, and there have been studies with just the app, just the program itself. And there was a big difference between the two. There was a 4x increase with just the program, and there was a 7x, 7 times increase with the program and the device. And the way it works is it's basically, it looks at things differently. It reframes the problem as not a problem, but something you train for, right? If you can last long, you don't have a problem. You just have to retrain your nervous system and your brain. And the way you do that is by practice, which is why edging works so well, right? So this is essentially a very similar concept, but it's guided, right? So it's a combination of a device that used for masturbation, so masturbation sleeve, that is connected to an app. Again, of course, everything is anonymized, and the app addresses the program and the educational side. So it teaches you what to pay attention to, right? Like what are the signs that happen before you reach that point of no return, right? That extra tightness in your pelvic area, in your PC muscle, all of that, all of those signs that lead, the extra sensitivity, right? All of those signs that happen right before you reach that point of no return. And once you get there, it teaches you to pay attention to what's happening, which muscle is contracting, where do I feel more sensation, and it tells you to stop at that point, right? And
Okay.
uh,
And turn
and
off the
once
machine or pause it?
no, you can keep going. It depends on where you are in the program.
Okay.
There are many different levels,
Got
and
it.
it's gamified. It's gamified, by the way, for fun and for there are other reasons too, like compliance with the App Store and
This is
stuff
a
like
fun
that.
video game I'd like to play. I don't
Uh,
know.
It is. It is. Yes, you have to conquer planets. That's the game. It's very cute. A part of the reason why we had to do it was because the app stores are extremely sensitive about what you can say or do in an app. So by making it a game, by gamifying it, you basically overcome it. We teach people, there are educational videos, but also the game itself is fun and not sexual at all. So essentially the program takes you through many stages, many steps, and it teaches you to pay attention. It's really like lesson by lesson. So it guides you, takes you by the hand, guides you step by step to pay attention to what muscle contracts. You can see how long it took you to get there, things like that. And at that point where you reach almost the point of no return, right? Once you know what to be aware of, you become aware of it when it happens. And so once you reach that stage right before the point of no return, you stop. Now, by doing that on and off over and over and over again, you literally train your nervous system and your brain to last pretty much as long as you want. Personally, I can last for hours, and it's only because of this device and, of course, some edging. I don't have to last for hours. I think most people don't want to have sex for hours, but the point is I can, and that's when you compare it to an average person, it's a superpower almost.
It is
Not
a
lasting hours.
superpower.
It's a
Hmm.
superpower to be able to last for as long as you want or need,
Hmm.
so that you and your partner can have, fun, meaningful, just a great sex session, that brings you closer, right? I mean, that's the point, right? To have fun and bring you closer. And so, yeah, it's a great device. Um, any man can use it. It was really trying to address originally premature ejaculation. When people can last 30 seconds, but it does work for everyone. And I'm the example of it.
The poster child.
Yes, I'm the poster child for it. Exactly. Yes.
And you
Yeah.
mentioned, lasting for hours. And, if you love sex as much as I do, I love to have sex for hours. I don't want it to be over. I hate quickies.
Yeah.
And,
Same.
it takes me a long time to get there. So I want to last as long as possible and then some. right? So absolutely, I think it's a great superpower. It should come with a cape.
Okay, that'll be a
And
fun role play.
exactly. You can wear it in the bedroom, right? And put your
Yeah.
hands on your hips when you walk in, like da 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 da. I love
That
it.
would be fun.
Yeah. And so you mentioned 4 times versus 7 times. So the 4 times would just be the on and off, or is that what you called it? Or the edging, right? The
Yes.
is that what you called it? And then the 7 times, which is 3 times more, would be with the machine. So either way, you're going to gain,
Mhm.
learning how to extend that time. But the machine really does help to increase it even more. So that's amazing. And I love that you have those stats to share with us. So at this point, I want to talk about our role play. And so we're going to do our role play, and we're going to be pretending that we're a couple, and we're going to be introducing something new. And so, with that being said, any questions before we get started?
No, no. I'm all ready. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it, Sam. All right, here we go. And action.
If you've ever wished sex could feel more connected, more intense, or honestly just more fun, you need to check out Shameless Care. They're a telemedicine company built entirely around sexual health, real doctors, real prescriptions, and products that actually work. Like Shameless Chemistry, their oxytocin plus tadalafil blend that deepens connection and boosts arousal. Or Shamelessly Aroused, a topical cream with the active ingredient found in men's ED medication, increasing blood flow exactly where it counts. Every order includes a short video introduction from your doctor, transparent pricing, and no subscriptions ever. Just real, sex-positive healthcare that delivers results. Because you're a Please Me listener, you can use coupon code PLEASEME for $15 off your order of any product on the Shameless Care website. Use the code PLEASEME, that's PLEASEME, at checkout to claim your $15 off. Again, that's shamelesscare.com, code PLEASEME. Because great sex shouldn't be complicated. It should be shameless. This episode is sponsored by Shameless Care.
Action. Uh, Eve, babe.
Hi, babe. How
So
are you?
good, good. How was your day? Let's start there.
Oh, my day was
Um,
great. I'm excited because it's date night tonight.
it is. And for our date night, I was thinking that maybe later we can try something new.
Okay. All right. Well, tell me what you're thinking about.
So I heard about this company that makes an interesting device. It's a pump.
Okay.
Um, I never knew anything about until today. I just heard about, and it sounds interesting. I'm kind of curious about. It sounds like it has cool benefits that can help us, have sex for much longer. But more importantly, I think it can make sex more fun. I think it would be fun to try something new. And I also heard a little bird told me that we can pump together. There's a hims and hers version,
Oh,
and that
wow.
the hers version, interestingly enough, is will make you more sensitive. You make your clitoris more sensitive. You make the whole area down there more sensitive. What do you think?
Well, as I've been getting older, my sensitivity has gone down. And I'm not going to lie, like a few weeks ago, I had a yeast infection and I didn't even feel it, not until it was full
Ooh,
blown. And normally I feel it right away, but I didn't feel it because my sensitivity is really decreasing. So that concerns me, obviously, for a lot of different reasons. Because, when I have a yeast infection or a urinary tract infection, if I can't feel it, I'm going to get really sick, right? Before I
right.
actually realize what's going on. And so I love the idea of increasing sensitivity for that reason. And also, obviously, because I want to feel everything even more amazingly. So I'm all for trying it. Have you bought these things yet? Or is this
I
a surprise present for me tonight?
I may or may not have it with me already.
Oh, wow. I have the best husband ever.
Thank you. So yeah.
All right. Well, let's plan on that for after dinner.
Okay, sounds good. I'm very excited to do it
Me
together.
too. Me too. And scene.
I'm not an actor, but it's
Neither
always
am
fun.
I.
It's always fun to role play, and it's always fun to request something new in the bedroom. That's it's always fun. Even if the end result is not as much fun as you hope, the fact that you did something new is so much fun. And so pretty much every time that I want to try something new, the outcome was positive for both of us, and I love that.
Even if it makes you just laugh and it's awkward and it's
Yes,
whatever, that is also fun too. Novelty is the spice of
right.
life, right? And
Yes,
so we need
it's
to keep
everything.
things, yeah, we need to keep things spicy in the bedroom and introducing new toys that can help with function, whatever it may be. I think is a great idea. And we talked a little bit before about what we wanted to do for the role play, and a threesome came up, but we decided not to talk about that, right? But I want to mention threesomes here because I know that a lot of people have that as one of their top fantasies, right? To have an
Yes.
extra person in the bedroom. And every time I think about this, I think, okay, well, is this person, is this partner, is this man going to be able to pleasure me and another woman, right?
Well,
And
if they last long enough, they could. That's a big part of it.
that's exactly what I was going for there. So you read my mind. A lot of men, are not able to last long enough to satisfy two partners. So why
Or
would I
one
want to
partner.
bring in another partner when I know he, from past experience, cannot satisfy me long enough? So how would he be able to satisfy two people? But if you can last
Right.
for hours, now that is changing the game. And that for me makes me open my mind up a little bit and say, maybe he could actually satisfy me and satisfy someone else. So I just wanted to bring that up too, because I think, yes, everybody wants to have a threesome at some point in their lives, or not everybody, but a lot of people do. I
A
think
lot,
it's
yeah.
a very, very common fantasy. And I think you
For
have
both
to
men and
consider
women.
for both men and women. Exactly. And for women, either having another woman if they're interested in female girl on girl play, or they're bisexual, absolutely. But also introducing another man into the mix, and I think I want to put that out there too, because a lot of times people think of threesomes and they only think of two women and a man, and they don't think of it the other way around. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. And this is a great way to train yourself, guys out there, for lasting long enough to have that fantasy come true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that being said, I want to make sure that we can find you. Where can we find you, Sam?
So everything we spoke about and more is available on my website, getbiggernow.com. There's also a free ebook, by the way, how to get your perfect method, completely free. And if anyone has any question, they can contact me on social media. My handle is at Mr. Get Bigger Now on most platforms.
Okay. I am trying to type this and I can't see what I'm doing here. Okay. So here we go. My bad. I should have done this before. So getbiggernow.com. Is that correct?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. So you can certainly reach out to Sam on getbiggernow.com, and your social media handle you said was at Mr. Get Bigger Now. And
Yes.
it's right there on next to your name. And so I want to
Right.
make sure that my listeners can also find me. If you're new here and you haven't checked out my website, I have been doing an overhaul of my website. And so it has all of my affiliates now, including Sam's penis pump. And it's going to have the lady pump coming up soon. It also has the penis extender. So you can look under my affiliates to find it there. And yeah, reach out to me there if you're interested in intimacy or health coaching, or if you're interested in working with me. Okay. And so with that being said, I want to thank you again for being on the show today. This was a lot of fun, Sam.
Thank you so much for having me, Eve. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, it was. Until next time.
Till next time. Bye-bye.
Are you looking for a sexy date? Look no further than SDC.com. SDC.com is the premier ethically non-monogamous website that is worldwide. It also hosts a wealth of information on sexuality and sexual health, and I host a free live webinar monthly on the site. You can use code 37340 for a free trial membership on me, and be sure to reach out on the site and say hello.
I want to personally invite you to join me on Patreon for ad-free listening, bonus episodes, and early releases. Already there is a lot of bonus content on there with many webinars that I've done in the past and a show that I've never released to the public before. My show is completely self-funded, and when you are able to support me in this way, I'm able to spread my message of body positivity, self-love, and women's empowerment, and empowerment in general around sexuality around the globe. And so with that being said, I appreciate everyone who has already joined Patreon. And if you've thought about joining, now's your nudge to do so.